So I'm a filmmaker. No, an artist. Actually, a creative. But recently, I felt so constricted by expectations for myself. Expectations to create consistently. To improve on every single video. And expectations to grow a good-sized audience. Those are all good things, don't get me wrong. But it's so easy for me to get lost in the self-expectations that I just lose myself creatively. It's not the process itself per se, but it's all the thoughts that circulate my brain. What are people gonna think of this? How can I play the algorithm with this? Who's gonna enjoy this? Who uses this? It's gonna grow my channel. Gotta make sure I capture everyone's attention.
Everyone? That's a dangerous word.
Recently, I've been realizing you simply cannot please everybody. And guess what? That's okay. So honestly, even just thinking those thoughts, they just take away my creativity. Not only am I my own worst enemy creatively, there's also just so much freaking stuff on the internet. It's oversaturation, and consuming all of it, it's overstimulation. But, you know, I've already made a video on it. In our time right now, there's just so much content and so much media. It makes me wonder, like, wow, how did we even freaking get here? There's just too much. It begs me to ask the question, as an artist, as one who makes things, what's the point? What's the point? What's the point? Why do any of this? Why make anything at all? So there's so many people making things much better than mine, expressing similar ideas, growing an audience, growing their channel, but I'm over here not able to find consistency. I'm not that diligent. There's so many things that I need to improve on, and I'm sitting over here not even able to find my own niche. So again, I ask, why? Recently, I was over at my parents' house sorting through all my old crap in my old bedroom, and I rediscovered a bunch of drawings that I made as a little kid, scribbles of stuff that looked like Basquiat could have drawn, and just a lot of boxes and boxes of Legos. And it just brought some thoughts to my mind. It was a great reminder. A reminder that I was born this way. The creator of everything made me in the image of him, so therefore, I'm creative, and you're creative too. And if you don't believe it, dude, go make something, dude. You'll love it. You're wired this way. We're wired to create stuff. We're wired to make, we're wired. You got me on the it's bogus if you're not creative soapbox again. But I mean, it's freaking true though. Not to mention, like, I love doing this, like this whole creating thing. Like, as I've said, like, I can't really imagine reality where I don't create. It's that pure intention to express myself. I think every creative person can relate with that idea. It's not just that either. There's a whole myriad of things that pop into my head that would make me want to create. I do it to inspire others, to bring value to others, to garner a community of like-minded individuals, and then to do it all for God. That just gets me unfathomably stoked. And dude, that's expression, and not even just expression. That's expression with a purpose. However, here's the conflict. Stuck in my head. Perhaps it's because I don't let myself become inspired. Maybe I'm just overthinking and consuming way too much to even think about having original thoughts and creating original content. Maybe this is why. Maybe my brain is just way too convoluted to even realize or actually put a finger on how I even got here. But what I do know is this: I've definitely reached a creative breaking point. The video making process for me recently, haven't been stoked about it. I haven't loved what I'm doing. I see myself writing and editing and doing all the things it takes to put together a video, and at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm not hyped about it. And that sucks. Like, I've gotten to the point where doing this just feels like it's work. Like, it feels like another thing to do rather than a joy. I think I'm under the mindset of, well,
it has to be me.
What? Who says? I don't. Although I do this to myself, don't I? I have to upload weekly. I have to be consistent. I have to put some pressure on myself in order to create. Yeah, I'll say it. That's just toxic creativity. And if nothing else, that's toxic to my state of mind. Talk about just a negative thought cycle, like digging yourself into a rut and stripping yourself of all joy of the creative process. Terrible. That being said, it looks like I have a few options here. I could either A, not be creative and basically shoot myself in my expressive foot, or B, be creative, get lost in the sauce, unable to get out of a negative thought cycle and a rut, and thus shooting myself in every proverbial foot on all of my proverbial legs. Or, finally, B, but with some nuance, the gray area, just a completely separate solution. Ever since I started doing this whole video thing consistently, like since 2016, which is like freaking 6 years ago now, it's kind of been for the purpose of it being cool or like making stuff that I think other people enjoy, and a lot of the time it's kind of like mainly because it's for me.
And I've come to realize creating for those three things are seemingly sustainable, but doing it because it's just cool or for the algorithm, that's a bullet train to burn out. Two, like if you're not actually invested in it, also a road to burn out. And then if you're doing it just for yourself, I've come to realize like that's one of the best feelings is doing it for yourself. And not in a selfish way, but like if you are really pumped about what you're making, you're really stoked about it, like other people are gonna be stoked about it too because it's genuine, it's authentic.
But I've come to realize that's not everything. Don't get me wrong here though. Making stuff you're passionate about is good. Like it's great. Like that should be your goal. But for me, it's meaningless without God. And I know earlier in the video I said, and doing everything for God gets me unfathomably stoked. And it definitely does. Don't get me wrong there at all, but the honest, transparent, wholehearted truth here is in these past 6 years, there's very little of this whole video filmmaking stuff that I've authentically done for Jesus. Just ways to really glorify myself or find fame, and I found an ounce of peace in the fleeting validation from strangers and friends from my videos, and that peace kind of, you know, numbs the pain that I should be bringing to Jesus directly rather than, you know, trying to solve it with my meager creativity that ultimately God gave me. And as painful as that realization is, you know, realizing you're selfish ultimately, I mean, man, it's important to be vulnerable with yourself and be honest with yourself and God, you know, in order to grow. So I've really just been learning, like, I gotta make everything for Him, and I mean everything. Ultimately, like, that's where I'm gonna find true peace creatively and motivation. That's where I'm gonna find true creative freedom and everything I need in order to create and like actually have purpose and meaning doing it. Right now, my head and my heart just really align with this idea that my singer-songwriter friend Isa once wrote. Just let everything in me be all about you. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, love you.